Hey everybody, welcome to the Dreamers Podcast. I'm your host Joe Pardo, and I'm sitting across from my man Matt Borelli. How you doing, Matt?
I've been better, but
You sound like you've been better.
yeah. Well, I'm here. That's okay.
I agree. It's been a while since I've gotten to hang out with you and see you. So definitely appreciate you coming out, even though you're clearly not feeling well.
Yeah. Well, that's just how it is sometimes. The podcast comes first.
Well, you were really sick for a while there. That's why we didn't have you on the show, because you were really sick.
Yeah.
Not deathly sick,
Right.
but really sick.
I'm feeling better. Appearances to the contrary, but yeah, obviously still not totally back in my game yet. But another trip to the doctor's office, I'm sure I'll be fine after they pump me up full of more antibiotics or whatever it is they're going to give me this time.
Whatever they're going to give you, you will just take whatever it is they give you.
I don't even bother to look at the labels. I just
Anybody with a lab coat could just give you anything.
Pretty much.
You'd be like, I got this. I'm good.
That's all the credentials I need.
Oh man, it's been quite a week for me, man. So, first off, I gotta say this is episode 243 of the Dreamers Podcast, and my guest this week on Tuesday, because today's Sunday when we're recording this, on Tuesday is the amazing Krystian Leonard, who, not so recently, but recently won the Three Rivers Festival Queen. She became the Three Rivers Festival Queen, which actually puts her in the running to run for Miss West Virginia, which puts her in the running to be Miss America, and puts her in the running to be Miss Universe. So it's a long thing, but she also has a long way to go. She's also quite young for what she's accomplishing, not just in the charity space, but also in the just in general, like at the. Sorry, I'm very tired. The pageantry pageantry stuff. So anyway, she's my guest. You can check that out if you're listening on Tuesday or after Tuesday. Just stay tuned until after the jump to listen to the interview with me and Krystian Leonard. If not, if you're listening on Sunday, just wait till Tuesday and you can check it out. So I wanted to talk about Movie Mail real quick. So Melissa and I had been going over some of the numbers and stuff like that, and we actually wound up lowering the price for our membership down to $3.99 per month, which was really cool. So for anyone who doesn't know, Movie Mail is like an inspirational or motivational, henceforth the name Movi, analog mail service. So basically you pack up a letter, inspirational story, inspirational quotes, inspirational stuff. If you have bracelets, like I have bracelets here, shout out to Eric Thomas, Anthony Hayes, and Amy J, and then also WordCamp NYC for the ones that I have here on my mic. And you can pack all that up, anything that fits into an envelope, and send it off to Movie Mail, and then Movie Mail will send that letter off to another Movie Mail member. So you don't know who's going to get your letter, and then you don't know who's going to whose letter you're going to receive. Really neat. Yeah, hashtag inspire Jessica Sackman. She works with Eric. So it's a really neat concept, and we're really happy to bring it to people, and we're really happy to bring it down to this price of $3.99. And then we have a Facebook community that goes with it, and we're doing some special giveaways and stuff like that to go along with it. So we're really proud of what we're able to accomplish with that. And then we also want to donate too to like Give Kids the World and some other charities as we continue to grow that business and that service. So I gotta talk. I gotta say, Matt, I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. I wanted to start in July shooting YouTube videos, and then turning those YouTube videos, like short, like 4 or 5 minute episodes, into more episodes of Dreamers Podcast. And I honestly haven't had the time to do it. I've just been so swamped, especially with MapCon coming up. If you don't know what MapCon is, it's the Mid-Atlantic Podcast Conference. It's here in the Mid-Atlantic, it's here, well, right outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and this year we're expecting 150 people, give or take. I mean, we're on track, so we're at like 60 some members signed up so far. So we're on track, as long as, there's quite a few people I know that are supposed to be coming, haven't signed up yet. So gotta get them on board, because I want to get t-shirts for everybody. Like this year, my man Michael O'Neill really drove it home as to why I should go out of my way to get really nice shirts this year. American apparel shirts, not just the Gildan shirts that we got from last year, and the shirts I've been using for other stuff. So it's tough because it is more expensive, but at the same time, like, I want to provide like an awesome shirt that people want. So actually, I'm gonna switch my camera over real quick. I think this is the right one. Let's see. Yeah, so this is the shirt that we will be giving away. Matt, I don't know if you can see that, like, over here on my right monitor. This is the shirt that we're going to be giving away. It says podcaster in a really awesome font. It says hashtag MapCon 2016, which actually it's hashtag MapCon, but it's still, we still might change it. We're not married to it just yet, but this is the design. This is where we're heading. This is the color that we're looking at. So it all comes down to how much the cost is going to be, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, so it's taken up a ton of my time leading up, and not to mention the fact that I've been working with a lot more clients lately on web design work, and even Facebook ads now. Like, I'm doing a couple Facebook ads for a couple different clients. One that found me because of doing the Rotary Club talks. So that was really awesome, getting to have that, like, really, have it being brought up by somebody else that was at the meeting to somebody who wasn't at the meeting, and then having them give me a call. So I really, really appreciate that confidence in what I'm able to offer just from the talk, the 20-minute talk and questions and answers that I gave them at the talk. So it's really interesting. So so MapCon is coming up very quickly. You can get your tickets at midatlanticpodcast.com, and if you can't make it, there is the possibility you can get a virtual ticket, which is included with the regular ticket. So you could get all the conference stuff and everything. And we've been doing I've been doing these interviews with all the speakers and some of the sponsors from MapCon. So it's really been awesome, especially on Facebook Live, getting to share that knowledge of, like, what podcasting means to these other people. So Matt, since you're here, I want to ask you, what does podcasting mean to you?
Oh, for me, podcasting, I think, is just it's an evolution of what I grew up listening to on the radio, which is mainly talk radio. But the thing with talk radio is that you're very limited to whatever the host decided to talk about that week, and there was only so many stations to really go through. Where nowadays with podcasting, I can pick my particular interests and guarantee somebody is talking about it. So I can find stuff, about news, people commenting on the news, technology, mythology, like whatever you can think of, it's out there, and it's whenever I want it. If I want to listen to it at 10 o'clock at night, I can. If I want to listen to it on drive to work, I can, which to me is so incredible compared to the days of, I got tuned into this crackly radio. I can barely hear the guy. It's cutting in and out as I'm passing over state lines. And
the topic might not be that interesting.
Right, and then it's like I'm flipping through stations. I'm just sitting here bored. There's nothing to listen to. So it's great. And plus the fact that it's free for the most part. And also anybody can do it. I mean, it opens up, a whole ton of possibilities. And, granted, not everybody's podcast is going to be interesting. Everybody's cut out to...
Not as interesting as this show, that's for sure.
But the thing is, at least it's a venue for people that, anybody that has an interest, there's really no excuse not to go out and just, speak your piece.
I'd agree. I think that it does open up a lot of doors for people that have passions that aren't mainstream passions.
Sure.
That you wouldn't find even in a top 10 or top 20 radio market. So so podcasting definitely opens up those doors for people to connect with others that are really passionate about a specific topic that nobody else really cares about.
That's the other thing too. Like it fosters more of a community than a radio show. Because I mean, again, you've got it's a niche, usually a niche thing. You got forums, people can go in there, discuss, and rate and review different shows, and make suggestions. So it's cool. It's I can't remember the last time I've tuned into terrestrial radio. To the truth.
Sports radio is the only thing that I'll tune into from time to time, but even that, like, they don't always talk about sports, and I get it. Like, if you're always listening to it, then you probably would enjoy them to talk about something else, movies or some kind of pop topic news or something to that effect. But because I'm only tuning in like for a very small amount of time, I'm either getting commercials or a lot of times I'm getting things that aren't sports. And if I want not sports, I'll go to a podcast or just listen to music, which is my go-to de facto thing 99% of the time. So if you have a podcast, if you want to start a podcast, getting to MapCon, go to midatlanticpodcast.com/discount, and you can get yourself a $10 off ticket to come to the conference. It's gonna be magical. There's so many details and everything. I don't want to get all up in it, but yeah. So that has taken up a lot of my time. Obviously, Ava has taken up a lot of my time. It's been really tough. And last week, I don't know if you heard this, Matt. You probably didn't, being sick and all. But I announced that I was going to try and challenge myself to only work 20 to 25 hours per week, so that I could take care of Ava. After the conference. Right now, like with the conference coming up, there's just too many things going on. I mean, on top of that, this week I'm supposed to pretty much write my third book called Sales Won't Save Your Business. So on top of all that, now with that said, Ava and Melissa aren't around this week. They went on a small vacation with the rest of Melissa's family, and I'll go down there. I think I'm going to go down Tuesday night and maybe hang around till Wednesday sometime. But my point is I have a lot of things that I want to accomplish, and putting an emphasis on 20 to 25 hours a week on work is going to be really tough for me. I mean, I know that Matt, how much I love working. I mean, for 2.5 years now, I've worked, I can't even tell you how many hours. When I'm not working, I'm thinking about work, because I love and I'm so passionate about what it is that I do. So it's really disturbing. No, I don't know. I think disturbing is too hard. This is what I miss having here, Matt, because you can give me words that I can't think of off the top of my head. It's really disparaging.
Yeah,
disparaging.
Yeah.
Okay, disparaging to me to think that like I'm gonna have to do something that I'm not comfortable with doing, and that's putting work on the back burner. And not to say like my clients would be on the back burner or anything like that, but when I'm not working, Matt, I have an itch that I can't scratch that's related to the idea that I need to be working. I need to be doing something, or I'm falling behind. And in the last, well, actually all of this year, it's been different for me. Prior to going back to like May of 2014, it's been different this year because I have found other ways of bringing in income. And now, like, I'm looking at what I did last year, which was like around $10,000 revenue, and saying, okay, that was great. I mean, that was my second year, or really my first full year. So 6 months in to the year, so a year and a half in, second calendar year, made $10,000 in 1 year, and it's like, okay, that's awesome, but it's not enough. It's not enough to just keep doing what I'm doing. So this year, I've been able to make a lot more money doing a lot of different things, and really putting that focus on like amplifying the things that I do, to make it better. And shout out to Joey Kissimmee from Appendipity, because like we had an amazing. I went to Disney for like a week, Matt, and I literally only walked into the Disney like I think 2 days, and one of those 2 days I ran the marathon. So I hit all the parks, and I just didn't go. I spent so much time at his like hanging out with him that going to lunches and stuff like that and just learning from this guy and it was amazing. I mean, when you're sitting there and you're at lunch and it's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, I worked like an hour or two today. He's like, I'm maybe not even an hour, because I'm on vacation, so I try not to work. But the whole time, it's like his phone just keeps lighting up with emails of sales. It's like this is where I want to head, and what I've been able to do this year is while I've definitely invested more than an hour a day, even with Ava being here, and it's just been tough because like a lot of times I'm like, oh, I gotta work, if you can't see on we're streaming on Facebook Live, by the way. Or you can go to YouTube, superjoepardo.com/tube. I'm scratching myself because it's like I gotta do more things. I gotta make it happen. And this year it's proven to me. I've proven to myself that I can do what I did last year and amplify it, and just keep doing more and more of the things that work. And the conference is one of them. Just being able to connect with other people, being able to put on an amazing experience for people that people came from Georgia, Florida, and people are coming from the UK and California this year. Things like that, like the money doesn't matter as much to me as those experiences and the experiences that I'm able to give to other people. That's really what matters to me. Now, at the end of the day, I still would like to, keep my house and keep everything going, obviously, but the conference is part of that, and it's part of it in a way that it opens me up to a lot more things, because I get to connect with those people. So it's not necessarily measured in dollars and cents, but it's measured in relationships and being able to network with other people to maybe get other clients, things I can help with. So that just goes to show you there's other ways of doing it than just putting trading dollars for hours, and that's really what while I kind of do have to trade dollars for hours in some cases with some of my services that I offer, it's not the end all be all, and it's not really the end goal for where I'm heading. So I want people to understand this idea that this journey for me, while it's been 2.5 years, I mean, it has not been easy. There's been plenty of days where I'm, depressed and just want to go lay on the couch and want it to just be over. But at the same time, it's so rewarding that all the friends that I've made in the last, like a year ago, I knew a couple of people from around the world, right? Or no, 2.5 years ago, I knew a couple of people. Now I know pretty much, you name a continent, and I know at least one person on that continent. So to me, that's just, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Yeah. So the conference is definitely a big part of that, offering services to supplement the sales of things that I have, like books, courses, all that stuff. And it just goes to show you that you don't have to be this hardcore salesperson, because I really do not like being a salesperson. Cold calling, all that stuff. Ugh, God, I just hate it. I hate it. I seriously detest it. For myself, I get it. There's other people that can do it. There's other people that thrive on it. There's other people that live on it. And to a certain extent, being an entrepreneur and doing all these different things, you have to be a salesperson to a certain extent. But I like selling on the merits of what I offer rather than the problem-solving aspect of hey, I have this thing that solves a problem. Yeah. It's my computer's like going crazy right now. Potential Windows Defender is like seriously going nuts on me here. Yeah. So what is this? All right. So anyway, that's the big things that I have going on. I still really want to do the YouTube series because like I feel that trying to jam pack all of these topics into an episode, into the pre-show is not ideal. It's just not, because people can't find it, you know. And I watch a lot of YouTube at this point. Like I watch a lot of tech tube people, like technology oriented people, and they all, it's like basically it's like single use case things, like very specific videos. They're only like 5 to 7 minutes, sometimes a little bit longer, but usually 5 to 7 minutes. And I want to take all those topics. I have like 250 topics. I could put out an episode like 5 days a week for the next year, and probably still come up with more topics in the meantime, and have the great thing about YouTube though is the ad revenue generation. And being able to reach a broader audience. That's the thing that I would love to do. Now, speaking of a broader audience, Matt, the last 2 weeks for downloads have been like insane.
How so?
Like insane. Like I don't know, hundreds of I guess like hundreds of times more than normal. Because for a while there, I had an issue with my feed, with the feed for the show. So you could only see the last 10 episodes, like on iTunes, which is detrimental. And I guess Stitcher as well. And so somebody shout out to Jessica Rhodes from Interview Connections TV, interviewconnections.com, I think. She pointed out to me that my feed just was not, it was only showing the last 10 episodes. So I was like, oh, that's not good. So I had to go and figure that out, changed it, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm getting like hundreds and hundreds of downloads a day instead of like 50, 10 or 40 or 80 a day. Like, we're getting like 400, 500 downloads a day all of a sudden, ever since I fixed that feed. I don't know if it's for, like, and it's all old episodes too. It's so weird. Like, it's not the newest episode, it's not like, oh, the newest episode, I gotta listen to it. Like,
right, that's what I thought. Maybe people, weren't checking to see if you're still recording because their feed isn't updating, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, look at all these new episodes that just came out. Let me go download all these. But all old episodes, yeah, I don't know what. I mean, that's great. I just don't know how that would suddenly happen.
I don't know. I guess, well, because every episode isn't necessarily going to appeal to every person, right? But sure, I mean, that's a huge jump. To go from like 40 to 80 a day, sometimes just 5.
Have you been featured somewhere recently?
I mean, well, maybe I did. I don't know. You don't always get to find out stuff like that. Like, I have a couple of Google alerts that are supposed to alert me when something like that happens, but I don't know. So all of a sudden, it's like, fix the feed, and then boom, we're going from like anywhere between 5 and 80 a day, which, days vary, to we have days with 300, 400, 500, upwards of almost 600. So I don't know what happened.
I'll be honest, I got bored. I made 500 new accounts.
You got 500 iTunes accounts? Is that what is this Silicon Valley now?
I'm trying to help you out. That's it.
I appreciate it, man. Trying to make me feel better. No, it doesn't bother me. Either way, it doesn't bother me. Like, because I understand the value of the platform that I have, regardless of if 5 people, 5 downloads are coming in per day, or 500 are coming in a day. Big numbers are nice, but at the end of the day, like, it's how you use your platform. It's not how big it is; it's how you use it, Matt. And that's the most important thing. Seriously, it really is. It is the most important thing. It's how well you use it. And I use it to the most fullest to my ability, whether it comes to speaking or writing books or any of that stuff. So it's like, that's really when you're building a platform, like that's what it's about, is utilizing it to the fullest potential. Not getting hung up on like, oh, I didn't get on iTunes new and noteworthy. Oh, I didn't get this. Oh, I didn't get that. Like, don't worry about that. You got to do it, and people got to trust you, and trust takes a long time to build. And you just have to keep doing it. So, like, 240, this is episode 243, Matt. I mean, how many shows have you? I know you listen to a lot of podcasts. Are there a lot of shows that you listen to that have gotten over this number?
No, very few actually make it that far. Most shows, they tend to peter out, and for a variety of reasons. People's personal lives change, viewership drops off, or they just get bored with it.
I mean, it's definitely possible to get bored with it. I could totally see that, and that's one of the reasons why. Look, we changed the show up, or I changed the show up, and added guest hosts like you to come to the show, guest hosts like Ava to drop in and disrupt the show, adding more of a live aspect where we're recording live here on Facebook and it's going to YouTube, and if things don't go right, then that it is what it is, because I don't have the time to edit. But that's the magic, in my opinion. That's the magic of, like, right now, just closing your eyes and transporting yourself into this studio, this room right here, right now, and being here. The sounds of the room. I mean, this is what you're hearing if you're here. To try to go after that idea of, like, oh, this has got to be NPR. Well, they have a studio that is, like, sound treated, and they have a way more expensive mics than I have. Not that my mics are cheap, but they have way more expensive mics than I have. So and sure, I could strive for all that stuff. We could move over across the way into the theater room where it's sound treated, and it would sound a lot, not as reverby and stuff like that. But you know what? It's important to, like, this is what it is. This is what it is, and oh well. So I like I said, I have a ton of topics I want to talk about, and the thing, I guess I just have been kind of holding myself back a little bit in doing it, mostly because of time, mostly because I have other things that are a little bit more important than that, like writing my third book, which I'm super excited about. In fact, I figured out that, and have I told you what I want to do for the cover?
No.
So what I want to do is I want a book cover that doesn't stand out like a sore thumb from my other two book covers. So if you don't know, my other two books, I hand drew the covers for both of them. And, some people love it. There's a couple people that I've ran into that really didn't like it, that think that the cover should be more professional or this or that. And so I had this dilemma where it's like, okay, I'm going to write a business book. It's a business book about how to save your business, because sales aren't going to do it. But when I have my other two books sitting next to it, I don't want it to, like, stick out like a sore thumb, like, hey, what's up with these two, marker drawn covers, and then you have this professional looking cover here that looks kind of boring. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get a professional cover made by maybe my friend Dave Sr. He was on the show, like, way back in, like, I think, like, the episode, like, 30 or 20 or something like that. Like, you go way back and you can check him out. He does amazing work he's done magazines and stuff like that. So he would do amazing work. And then what I want to do is I want to add my own touch to it. So, like, I would maybe, like, add some flair, if you will, to the cover with, like, a marker. Using like a magic marker, or not a magic marker, like a Sharpie marker. So that when you see my books next to the other two books, it isn't like, oh, so those are the kid books and this is the business book. It'll look like a business book, but it's gonna have my touch on it, and I think it has to, because, again, not just because it has to look good, or it has to not good, but good next to the other two books, but because I really feel like it's important that people understand that this person named Joe Pardo isn't just another suit guy, or this person that's Joe Pardo isn't. I quit corporate America and decide I'm never gonna wear a tie. I'm only gonna wear tie dye. That's not me either. There's like a middle ground here, and that's where I walk the line of being myself, and knowing what it is that I want out of a design. So yeah, so it's gonna be a professional looking ish cover with some flair to make up for the fact that I want it to represent me. And have a bit of me in there. So I've been formulating the book. I haven't written the outline yet. If pro tip, if you're gonna write your book, just write the outline first, because it's gonna be so much quicker to write a book once you have that outline, because you're basically just gonna fill in the blanks between, because you're already gonna know what to talk about because it comes from your heart, unless you gotta do research. Even then, an outline would make so much easier, because you won't miss things in the steps in which you want to talk about them, and you can reorganize them before you already have now I have entire chapters that I have to read through to figure out if this paragraph belongs here, if it should belong in this other chapter, or anything like that. So do an outline. It's going to save you a lot of time, and it's going to make your book very much better. Good book. Reading is knowledge. Or math is I don't know, something like that.
How about just a blank white cover?
A blank white cover.
And then you could have little magnets that ship with it, and people could just make their own title for the book.
You know how expensive that would be?
or stickers instead of magnets, if you want to cut costs a little bit.
Stickers could work. Because magnets would have to have a piece of metal inside of it. So metals are expensive. Metal is expensive. Magnets are expensive. So magnets, I like the idea, because you could play around with it. It would be creative. Ooh, what if instead you had every letter was a magnet, so then you could write your own messages from the Sales Won't Save Your Business title, and then you could see what people come up with. I don't know.
And people could email those pictures to you, and you could post them on your site.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet. I like that idea. I don't like how much it's going to cost to do it. Though maybe I'll check on Alibaba, and I could do it. The only problem is selling it through Amazon. So I would have to ship every book at that point. That's the thing. So if I, when I sell the book, or I could do 2 versions of the book, but then that's just more cost and more headache. And, I'm all about the art. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I really want to make sure that it's not a complete nightmare logistically, especially with only working 20 to 25 hours a week once MapCon ends. And I should note that when I switch down to 20 to 25 hours a week, that's only for now. That's only because Melissa will be working every day. So I can't expect somebody to watch Ava every single day of the week. But when summer comes around, maybe I'll kick it up a notch, work a little bit longer or something. I don't know, something to that effect. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe at some point she won't have to work, and then I can work more out. That will be my reward. You make enough money that you can work even more hours, so that somebody else doesn't have to work. That's the goal. No, actually, to me, the goal really is to get it to a point where I can outsource using VAs, virtual assistants, so that I only have to work maybe 10 hours a week, and then work it down from there. 10 hours a week isn't a lot, 2 hours a day, but I think in 2 to 3 years, I think we could achieve that goal, given the current trajectory that I'm on right now. So it's not impossible. It's and it's not for everyone. And I know there's a book from Tim Ferriss called The 4-Hour Work Week, and I've never read it. I don't plan on ever reading it. I don't feel that there's a need for me to read it. Because I have my own plan, I know myself, and I know how I work, and I know which opportunities I want to go after. So we'll see. We'll see. The ultimate goal is to get it down. I think at 10 hours, but of course, 10 hours a week like that. At that point, 2-3 years from now, at that point it would open me up to be able to use that time to write more books. You know what I mean? I'm talking about work. I'm not talking about replying to a couple emails or a couple Facebook messages. I can do that from the couch from my phone. That's not the work I'm talking about. I'm talking about here in my studio, working on content, creation, working on clients' websites, working on clients' Facebook ads, that kind of work. Like the work stuff, not, you know, writing books or as you can see behind me, my turntables have been quite lonely, and I really need to get back to using them because I want to do a follow-up album to Adventuratorium, but I can't do that if I'm working, you know, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. Like I can't do it. I can't justify it because it takes that long to do an album like that, especially since I'm so rusty at this point that it's going to take me a while to get back on the ball. So yeah, so we're going to start with 20 to 25 hours a week. I don't know if it's going to work out. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, you know, we'll adjust. I mean, that includes going and speaking, too. So, like, when I do these Rotary clubs, it takes a half hour to get there, half hour to get back, plus, like, an hour and a half meeting or whatever. You know, that's 2.5 hours of, like, work time that I'm going to deduct out of my 2 hour or my 20 to 25 hours. So we'll see. I think I can do it. I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be more tough for me, not the money side of things, more tough for me to turn myself off to, like, I got to be working. I need to be bringing in more income. I need to help more people. I need to keep running faster, harder, stronger, longer. That's really the tough part for me. Whew, man, that was a mouthful. So yeah, Matt, has there been any stories or anything that you've seen lately that jump out at you that maybe you want to bring in?
Yeah, news-wise, no, nothing's really caught my attention or. Yeah, I mean, obviously everything right now is kind of focused on the Olympics, but you know that.
I thought you were going to say the election.
Well, yeah, that's it. You know, what can we really say that people haven't already said? I mean.
Well, Trump can think of a few things.
Yeah, no, I been checking the news, but Google News, I mean, it's no really mind blowing stories, nothing really got me thinking. So, but not every week can be it could be super exciting.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Have you seen anything? Maybe I missed something.
I mean, I felt. I'll bring up the story about the kid that lives around the corner from me. I didn't even realize it was a kid that ran it. He had a fruit and veggie stand, a 12-year-old kid, and somebody decided that they needed the fruits and veggies so badly that they decided to steal from the stand that he had out in front of his house. It's been there for quite a while, actually. I don't remember when I first noticed it, but it's been there for quite a while, and. Unfortunately, somebody decided to steal from his thing. They took they took everything off of it. Really, really horrible. There's that word disparaging again. We should have a word of the week. Like we could do like Pee-wee. You know, is it the secret word?
Yeah, I really don't think this is the format for secret words. I mean,
is that what it's called? Was it called the secret word? Or the word of the week?
I don't remember.
I figure we just yell at the mic after every time somebody says it.
I think people will get real old real fast as far as that goes.
I don't know. I mean, Pee-wee seemed to make a career out of it. Speaking of which, have you watched the new movie yet?
I did. I didn't care for it, but
really, was it more towards the first movie or like the Big Adventure or?
I'd say it was more in the vein of the second movie.
The Big Top, Pee-wee's Big Top something.
But, it felt like it lacked direction and it wasn't any standout moments. I mean, the first, but again, in the first movie, you got Tim Burton involved and, he always puts a certain stylistic spin on things. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Large Marge scene, I think, is probably the biggest standout for that film. Yeah, this movie just... I don't know. It almost played it too safe. I mean, compared to the stuff he's done on stage, and I like Pee-wee. It's neat that the guys managed to make a comeback after all these years. But the movie was just very mediocre. It didn't really. It wasn't any particular thing. It wasn't wacky. It wasn't really zany. It wasn't anything memorable.
It just played it safe and Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like like a TV movie of the week. I mean, and I don't blame Netflix for that because I mean, look at some of the stuff like Stranger Things. I mean, like that show is so good, and that's and hell, there's a whole string of Netflix shows that have been really good.
That's true. They've been knocking it out of the park.
So,
well, they got to keep people interested in staying with their service. Especially with competition from Hulu.
I think like Netflix and even places like Stars and some of these other networks know that people are only going to subscribe for a certain amount of time for the next season of Walking Dead or Evil Dead or whatever the hot show is that season, Game of Thrones, and then cancel and then wait for a while and come back again. But
right.
Even then, I mean they're not stupid. They know when their subscriptions are going up. It's like, oh, people are subscribing to Stars all of a sudden. Must be because this Bruce Campbell thing's taken off, or everybody's subscribing to HBO because Game of Thrones new season just started. So I mean they're banking on that, and that's how these shows continue to get made. But Pee-wee, if he does another movie, I would be surprised. Oh. I mean, based on this, it just was nothing.
Well, did your niece watch it?
No, she wasn't even interested.
Oh. So, well, I didn't know if maybe it would, just because it's not interesting to you, it might be interesting.
We watched a couple episodes of the original TV show, and
she like that?
Yeah, she does. I mean, because it's like a live action cartoon for the most part. I did read the Casey Gaines wrote a really good book about behind the unofficial guide to Pee-wee's Playhouse. It's all about the behind the scenes stuff, and. I learned a lot. It's always neat to me, the technical aspect of things, how they pull off all these different live action puppets and then the penny claymation and that type of thing. So, and also I guess all the drama behind the scenes, behind this kids show.
Yeah.
But it seems like anything worth watching or experiencing, the creative minds always send to butt heads. I mean, it's just how it is.
Yeah. All right, well, I guess we can wrap up here because we still have an interview with Krystian Leonard that's going to be coming up after the jump. So yeah, if you want to come out to the Mid-Atlantic Podcast Conference, if you have a podcast, if you want to start a podcast, this is definitely your opportunity to come out to the Philly area. It includes lunch and a whole bunch of other stuff. You go to midatlanticpodcast.com. If you want to get $10 off the ticket, it's midatlanticpodcast.com/discount. And there's just a whole host of things you're going to get. And also you can go to moviemail.com and join the motivational mail through snail mail community. I'm just like so tired. And I still have an interview I'm doing later with Samantha Riley, who was on my show a while back. So motivational mail community. It's through the snail mail, so you send it through the post office, and we take your letter, your inspirational letter, your inspirational quotes, your inspirational wristbands, whatever it is that you can fit into an envelope. Send it to us. We send it off to another member, and then you get a letter from another member that you don't know who it's going to or where it's going. And that's really what it's about, is bringing people together. And we have a whole Facebook community that we're building right alongside with it, so we can do all kinds of fundraising and stuff like that for great causes. So go check it out, moviemail.com. It's only $3.99 now a month, so you can get signed up. You can even get, I think, 10% off if you sign up for a year if you scroll to the bottom of the site. So go get signed up. It's going to be awesome. And there's a video there that I've voiced over too, so you can check that out right at the top. All right, and so stay tuned after the jump. Krystian Leonard is coming up. She has some awesome stuff going on. She was recently Three Rivers Festival Queen down in West Virginia and is on her way to competing for Miss West Virginia. She's only 19 years old, so she still has quite a few years to make that happen if it doesn't happen for her this time around. But I really think she has a good shot. All right, have a great week, everyone, and happy Sunday if you're watching the live show on Facebook Live.
Joe, I have a challenge for you.
What's that, Matt?
I want you to give me a way to support the Dreamers podcast that's not only easy, but it's not going to cost me any money.
Buy stuff on Amazon.
Really?
Yes, go to superjoepardo.com/Amazon. Update your bookmark for Amazon to that link, superjoepardo.com/Amazon. Every time you make a purchase, I get money.
Joe, in the time it took you to describe that, I've already done it, and I'm a slow typer.
You know what? Why don't you go buy some Mavis typing tutor on Amazon using the superjoepardo.com/Amazon and help contribute to Dreamers Podcast.
It'll be here in 2 days, thanks to Amazon Prime.
Hey Dreamers, today I'm talking with Miss West Virginia Three Rivers Festival Queen. That's a mouthful there. Krystian Leonard, who hasn't been on the show since episode 143. So welcome back, Krystian.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be back.
Yeah, I am excited to have you back. Obviously some big things have happened, and hopefully some big things we can talk about going forward are going to be happening. So I really appreciate you taking the time to come back on and talk about something that apparently nobody knew up until after it happened. So why don't we talk about the Three Rivers Festival?
Okay. Well, I just got back into pageantry. I just finished up my freshman year at college of West Virginia University studying broadcast journalism, and I decided to go into the Miss USA system. This year I've competed in the Miss America system for 3 years as a teen, and I also competed in the Miss Collegiate America system as a Miss contestant this past summer. And it was an incredible journey there. I made top 15 as a 19-year-old, which was incredible. And my family was so proud, and it was in Disney World, so it was the best feeling in the world just to be there and be happy every day in the sunshine. So when I decided to recompete, I chose this system based on the girls that they're really looking for, someone who will be able to connect with their community and to hold that in awe presence of everyone that they meet, and to create these relationships with other people, other businesses, communities, schools, other hospital centers, things like that, different programs for children and teens. And I really, really wanted to be a part of that, so I competed in the Miss West Virginia Three Rivers Festival pageant, and I did not tell anyone. You are correct. I kind of wanted it to be a surprise because everyone that I talked to, they really didn't think that I would win based on my age and based on this is my first year competing in the system. And I took all their opinions and I soaked it up like a sponge, but I still told myself, I can do this. And I kept telling my mother, I can do this. You should not be worrying about this. I got this. And I was just very thrilled the entire time. I knew that this was going to be a learning experience. I went in knowing that I wanted to meet the other girls, because if I didn't win that particular pageant, I would be recompeting with them for the rest of the year for the Miss West Virginia USA pageant, which is usually held in October. But now I'm hearing that they're thinking about changing it to September, which is still exciting. That's my birthday month. And so I was really thrilled to be there. I felt that my interview went really well, and there was only 2 19-year-olds there. Everyone else was older than us competing. And I got called for top 5, which was incredible. I absolutely was so thrilled just for that honor. And then I kept thinking to myself, if I make second runner-up, that'll be really good for my first time being in this pageant. And they kept calling fourth runner-up, third runner-up, second runner-up, first runner-up, and they called my name as the winner. And I was so shocked. My mother was so shocked. It was only my mom and her best friend in the audience, because we finally told them the day of. And they just jumped up and started screaming and clapping, and like the whole audience was like, what is going on? Just because it was just a shocker, and I was sort of the underdog of the pageant. And I really felt that I did connect with those judges. I was able to share with them all the things that I'm doing with my nonprofit, being in college, my different experiences with that. And I just feel like they chose someone who is very ambitious, who loves her dreams, and who is going out there to encourage others to succeed in their dreams.
Which is exactly why you're here on the Dreamers podcast. Krystian, so you didn't tell anybody till like the day before, day of, that you were doing this. I didn't know until I saw that you had won. I'm sure a lot of people did not know even, the day before until they saw that you had won. So I think you even said that your boyfriend didn't even know leading up.
Yeah, he didn't know till the night before the pageant when I went home. That was also when we told my dad, so he didn't know either. My grandparents didn't know, my best friends, they didn't know, and I sort of did that just because, you know, I did think of this as a learning experience, and I thought that I would be successful, but I also didn't want them to feel so much pressure to come out and to spend money to come see me, to travel all that way, just because my family's very spread out in the state of West Virginia. And I felt, well, if I do win this pageant, then they can all come to the state level pageant, which is even bigger, and they'll just love it even more. So I didn't tell anyone, and it was kind of a relief while I was there at the pageant. I didn't feel so much pressure of my whole family is out there watching me, and I know that they're taking pictures and videos, which is kind of embarrassing because there's always those pictures that come up and you don't look the best. You're either talking and your mouth's wide open. But I was very thrilled to tell them all afterwards, and there were some hurt feelings, but I was able to make up for it by spending a few weekends at home.
So with the Three Rivers Festival, so if you had not won, you would have to continue to compete with them at the state level versus, I guess, going for the national level? Is that, like,
how it works?
Doesn't understand how this works.
Well, how this system works are their prelim pageants, which are usually the fairs and festival pageants, and the Miss Three Rivers Festival is a prelim. So you try to win these different prelims to win a title, and then that title gains you access to compete at the state level. Now, if you don't win a prelim, you still have the chance to buy a title and to buy your way into the state level if you still want to compete. And then everyone competes for one weekend at the state level, and for Miss West Virginia USA. And then the winner from that will go on to Miss USA, which is on TV. And the winner from Miss USA will go on to Miss Universe.
Wow, I didn't realize that it actually... I thought Miss Universe was like its own thing. I wasn't aware that it was actually tied in.
It's all connected.
So that puts you one step away from competing for Miss USA. I mean, that's pretty amazing. Now, you said that you were, among the youngest of the three youngest people or women in the competition. What age group were you like competing against? Like, was it like mostly 21, 22, 23, 25, 27?
Well, the age for the Miss contestant is 18 to 25. Which is also different from the Miss America system. In the Miss America system, as a Miss, you are 18 to 24. So you gain an extra year by being in the Miss USA system. I was 19. I still am 19. I'm getting ready to turn 20, which is kind of scary.
But I'm about to turn 30, so it's okay.
I've been told that after 21, it all goes downhill, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. But being 20,
come on.
Right, being 20 was very exciting for me. I'll be in my second year of college, which is very thrilling. I just love my school, the Reed College of Media. But these girls, I think the eldest was 24, and the youngest was 19. So anywhere between that. I think there was one girl had just turned 21 and came back from her birthday trip in Vegas. So, and then there was 22 and 23. So yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So so it's not like you're younger, but you're not that much younger, especially coming up very quickly on. When is your birthday, by the way?
September.
September. Because I'm
12th.
September 15th. Oh, I'm the 15th. I didn't realize. Maybe I do have you on my calendar because I put all birthdays that I know in my calendar, but that's beside the point. So all right. So this is awesome. So in September. You will be competing to go be Miss West Virginia USA.
Yes, either in September or October. And how my title works is if I do not win Miss West Virginia USA, I still have a second chance to win a different state title, which is the West Virginia Fairs and Festivals state title. So that comes around, I think, in January. So I'll have from now until September or October to prepare for Miss West Virginia USA. So I cannot eat Chick-fil-A or any of the other yummy grilling out season that it is, all those foods, and exercising and having daily habits that are really good and will just make you feel healthy and happy is really important to me. I learned a lot in college with mental health awareness, emotional health, and just all around fitness, and overall just being happy and having a healthy experience with your body, and just knowing who you are as a person is just a really great feeling.
No, I totally understand. I mean, I've done the dieting, not to necessarily to the level that you need to. I've done the running, more along my lines of what I get to accomplish. But it's definitely got to be tough, especially in West Virginia. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of barbecuing going on down there.
Yes, a lot of barbecues, a lot of being the fairs and festivals queen, I'll be going to the Three Rivers Festival. So, and I have to judge the pepperoni roll contest, which is a delicious food that we have here in West Virginia. So I'm going to try to limit myself. I'm going to have my teen and my junior miss and the little girls, I'll have them eat my pepperoni rolls for me.
Yeah, it's like that's not even fair that you're expected to judge these things at the same time trying to live this super ultra healthy lifestyle to be able to maintain a body that can compete and or win in these competitions. It's like an ultra temptation type thing. So let's talk. Let's shift gears and go and talk about what's happened with Shining Scars since being on the show.
Well, a lot has happened this year. For one thing, I was nominated for the 99 Inspirational Women Project, which is Bree Seeley's project. And it was just an incredible honor, feeling, and emotional thing for me. I was kind of shocked. My friend Tyler Roxon nominated me, and I met him at the Next Gen Summit, and it was just an incredible feeling. I remember talking to him afterwards. I'm like, you're just such a great person. I love you. And he was like, well, this is why I nominated you, because I feel like you are one of the most inspirational women that I know. And that really hit home for me, and it just really encourages me to keep going and to keep pushing forward and to develop more dreams of mine, and to just know that if people are laughing at your dreams, then that means that they are big enough. So to keep going. And I was able to speak at the West Virginia statewide S.C.A.R.S chapters convention, and S.C.A.R.S stands for Students Against Destructive Decisions, and that was a great program. There was over 500 students, and I was talking at 8 o'clock in the morning. And it was just overwhelming how many students lined up to talk to me afterwards. I took pictures with, I think, over 75 students, and they actually bought 50 of my children's book. So I was just in awe of that, and they made a donation to my nonprofit, which helped donate more books to the Children's Miracle Network Hospital. And I was just so thrilled to be there to talk with them about Shining Scars, my experience and my learning of who I am, my strength, and everything that I know that I can overcome whatever I face in life. I just wanted to pass that on to them and to their siblings, and to really hold meaning to them. And they all friended me on Facebook and social media, and it's just been incredible. And I told them to reach out to me no matter what, and so they do. And some girls will message me and say how hard of a time that they're having, and I take the time to write them hand-lettered notes, and I mail them to them, and just to let them know that someone out there cares about you, and someone is hoping that you still have the faith and belief in yourself that you should. And so that was just a really great experience. And then I was able to share my nonprofit at Miss Collegiate America. When I made top 15, one of my judges was actually Miss America 2012, Miss New York, Mallory Hagan, and that was crazy. I walked in and my mouth fell open. I was in shock. She is like a celebrity goal that I wanted to meet, and here she was my judge, and I think I was the third person in my interview. Out of the 50 girls competing, so it was crazy, but they all loved my nonprofit. They loved what I was doing, what it stood for, and so that just continues to give me encouragement, continues to help me spread awareness for Shining Scars and how it helps children and teens throughout any community in any state. Another thing that I did last summer was speak at the Next Gen Summit in Austin, Texas, which is a conference for millennials. It was incredible. Oh my goodness, it was amazing seeing all the inventors and people with crazy dreams, millionaires by the time they're 18. It's just crazy. And I made so many good contacts, so many good relationships and friendships over there. And I'm so excited to be going back this year. This summer, it's going to be in New York. Now, I won't be speaking, but I am there to hear the speakers because I feel like everyone has something to learn from them. And I was able to make several contacts to share Shining Scars, and they put my website on all their different accounts, and they're constantly promoting me and introducing me to new people and nominating me for different events and different projects. So it's just incredible. And I know that looking back at being the 15-year-old self that I was and 14, and just knowing that this was going to be big and that this is needed in my life and in the lives of others. Now I'm just so grateful that I never gave up. So I was very happy about that. I was also able to model in Atlanta, Georgia for Fernando Wong. He designed my dress for the national pageant that I went to, which I also wore at Miss Three Rivers and I won in. He is very nice. He's incredible. He's a super sweetheart. So that was a lot of fun. I met a lot of contacts there, and hopefully I'll be going back for another modeling job. And I'm able to speak with the girls there about my nonprofit and about the learning experience that I've had with it to help them create their own projects, what they want to do, what are they passionate about. And a lot of them, they do have these great passions, and I want them to know that it is possible. It's possible whenever you're 14. It's possible whenever you're 19. It's possible when you're 25. And to never believe that it is too late to start on something that you love or that you're passionate about. And so that was just an all-around great experience. Another thing, I had a sponsor who bought 10 of my children's book to deliver to the C.A.R.S, which is in Charleston, West Virginia. It's a children's hospital center down there. And I was very thrilled. I signed those books and wrote cute little notes in them and signed it XOXO Krystian. And so I'm very grateful for that. And I hope to make it down there this summer to visit them and visit the children and the families that they have there. And there's more stuff coming up in my future and in the summer, but that's a little bit of what has happened this year.
Wow. I think it was funny when you were talking about Tayo, I could totally I can hear him saying that in his voice, because he is such a wonderful guy, and I'm so fortunate to have him as such a close friend. In fact, he's coming down from New York to speak at my conference in September for podcasting. So
awesome. Yeah. He's so energetic too. He's just a lovable guy. Oh my gosh.
He really is. And so yeah, I'm so glad that he nominated you and that all these amazing things have happened to you and you've gotten to meet so many people and in the process getting to change so many lives. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? I mean, that's why we start a nonprofit organization. That's why we start that's why we do all the things that we do to help change lives and help bring people closer to their dreams and the realization that it's not as far off as it may seem as long as you have the drive and the will to do it. And so it's all very, very possible. And obviously you've proven that. Now, the question that I have is how you have balanced all of that with being a freshman in college.
It was pretty crazy. I'm not going to lie. It takes very severe organizational skills, having calendars and booklets and everything, planning everything out, making sure that I'm constantly on social media, answering any questions or comments that have been made on all my social media accounts. That is Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Skype, all kinds of stuff. And then also having these interviews throughout my college experience, trying to find a quiet place, whether it's renting out a room in the library or finding a room in my apartment that I can go into. It is crazy. And to still have that full college experience and to go out to those football games, basketball games, different fundraising events, it was incredible. But, it was crazy. But I don't regret any of it. and I really look forward to next year. I think it'll just be easier as I go. However, this semester I took 18 credit hours, which I kind of regret now. It was a lot more than I thought that I could handle, and yet I still made a higher GPA average than the majority of freshmen and sophomores at WVU. So I was very happy with that. I got awarded more scholarship money being a student, and I was able to join in several different activities that my college provides, whether it's fundraising for Children's Miracle Network Hospital, which is also in the city of Morgantown, which is my university city, or, Slide the City comes, and just all kinds of different amazing programs and people that are there, the different sororities and fraternities, helping them create different events and activities and to donate money to them for their organizations. Cleaning up the city of Morgantown is always great, and just different things like that.
Oh, wow. Well, obviously you've been doing this for a little while now, but explain it to somebody that doesn't understand that it's how difficult it is to be quote unquote on all the time. Like you said, standing for 75, people to take photos with you. After you just gave a talk, after it was 8 a.m. that you gave that talk, and you've probably been up for a while, and who knows what time you got to go to sleep because you were probably doing something along the lines of responding or writing letters or, something to that effect.
Usually, whenever I travel a lot across the state, my mom travels with me, and I sleep in the car a lot. Or when we're flying and taking these different trips, I sleep on planes. I'm learning to go with the flow and be flexible, and yet sleep whenever you can. Constantly, no matter what, be humble and be nice and be kind to those around you. That's the number one thing that I want to do for the rest of my life, is to always be very gracious and be very, honored and humbled to be there and to share your story, because you're helping those who don't have a voice. And like you said, the 8 a.m. talk, I talked for, I think, close to an hour, and then I did 30 minutes of questions on stage, and then after that is whenever I waited in line for an hour just meeting these incredible kids. But they were so amazing, and I was just very glad to meet them all, and to take pictures with them and sign papers for them or whatever it is, talking about pageants or the years when I had braces or how I'm a Twilight fan, just connecting with those children and teens. That is critical for however they want to live their life, or how they see themselves in completing their dreams and to be successful in their lives, because everyone, their definition of success is different, and you want to encourage their definition, and you want to encourage and empower them to be successful and to be happy, most importantly, and to be able to know that they are loved and that they can continue to prove and to share love throughout the world so that it can just come back around again. The butterfly effect is something that I really believe in. So constantly being on the road, doing work online, quizzes online, classes, and running my nonprofit, having those meetings throughout the year, coming into town to meet with my board members, and then still traveling and doing all these crazy stuff, going to different schools. And I'm getting ready to go to Wyoming County in 2 weeks and talk to 3 schools in 2 days. And then a few weeks after that, I am going to Camp Mountain Heart, which is for children who have had heart surgeries. And I'm going to be a counselor there for about a week, and without a cell phone, without any technology. It will be crazy because I've only done that three times while I competed as a teen in the Miss America system. We weren't allowed to have our cell phones. So this is going to be a little bit nuts, and still being focused on having a healthy lifestyle, then competing in this pageantry, and still creating all these contacts and planning for the future. It is crazy. It is a roller coaster, but you just have to go with it because you want that. You want to be busy constantly. You want to constantly make these connections and to talk to people, because it is very important to them and to you and to your business or your nonprofit. And that is how you get the word out there. And I just love every minute of it.
No, I love it, and I love the fact that you're trying so hard to not even just slow down or take a breather and I'm kind of picking and choosing what I can and can't do as far as like community work or this or that, because it's just like, well, I'm also in school. The not taking an excuse route is super important for people, especially when it comes to, and I'm so glad that you said lack of sleep and sleeping when you can to make it work, because there's so many people that aren't willing to sacrifice any kind of sleep or sacrifice anything for what it is that they want to do. And a lot of people want to help change the world, but they aren't willing to take those steps that are
right.
needed. So I really applaud you for wanting to do that and actually doing it.
Well, thank you. And there are different challenges along the way. Some are small, some are large. One challenge for me about the sleep thing is I cannot have caffeine at all. And so that is crazy for a lot of people. I also am on a dairy-free diet, sugar-free diet, and it's just crazy just because I do have a lot of health issues to begin with. I have a lot of stomach issues. And so the hospital helped me and my family to create this sort of like a map of what I can eat, what I should eat, what I shouldn't eat. And it's really helped me throughout this process. Sometimes I do get really tired, and then I get a certain fruit or a certain vegetable that I know will give me just a spur of energy to keep going. And so that's really important too, is to constantly eat healthy on the way no matter what. It's really easy to go through like the fast food restaurants, and that's all that's downtown and on my campus is fast food restaurants. It's horrible. Between Chick-fil-A, Burger King, and pizza, you don't have that many options. And so constantly carrying around smoothies with me and fruit and vegetables and stuff is crazy. The long hours at the library, I have experienced all-nighters at the library, which was quite delirious, I should say. I went home cracking up laughing, and so I knew I needed to go to bed. And I actually just finished my freshman year of college yesterday. I had 2 final exams in the morning, and so now I guess I do have a break from school, but not from everything else. So now my schedule's more open for other things, and I'm very excited about that.
Wow. Has there been other than winning the pageant, has there been any other recent favorite memories that come to mind to you
about this year?
Yeah, since being on the show last.
Oh, since being on the show last, yes. One of them was being at the Next Gen Summit, speaking there in Austin, Texas. It was an incredible experience meeting all the different millennials, all the inventors, people who design apps and all kinds of awesome things for third world countries. And after I spoke after the conference, they awarded me the Humanitarian Award, which was so incredibly humbling. I think I teared up. My mother cried. It was just this huge thing, just because I felt that people were they were not only listening to what I was saying, but they were feeling it too. And they were able to understand my experience and to understand what I am doing, how important it is for whether it's their family members or people in their community or even strangers that they don't know. They're there and they're giving me their support by awarding me that award. And so that was just a heart-warming moment, and that is something that I will never forget.
I'm sorry, but having your work being taken seriously is always, I mean, it always warms my heart, right? Like, anybody could say, "Oh, that's cool, Joe," but unless somebody's really takes a real interest in what you're doing, or to a level of recommending you for a award or something like that, you know what I mean? That takes you to another level of wow, people actually believe in what I'm doing. They're taking it seriously. It's not just oh, that's cute, you're doing something, whatever, I'm sorry. So what were you gonna say next?
Hey, right. Sorry. Another great experience for me being a freshman in college was going to the football games. Just sitting in the student section, it was really great. Our band is phenomenal, just seeing them out on the field and all the different designs and the flag team and the twirlers. It was just incredible. And Brad Paisley actually came and sang Country Roads, since he's from West Virginia. So he came to the football game and sang Country Roads, and that was just incredible. I videotaped it on my phone, and like the whole entire stadium is singing, and you just feel like you're just part of this great big family and that you are at home. And so that was an incredible experience for me, especially just being a little freshman and moving out on her own and leaving the nest, and just to feel that safe, warm feeling of being that you are home, you are with family members. It was just incredible. So those are two memories that stick out to me.
So, Krystian, I'm sure that you don't want to divulge too much, but what do your dreams for the future look like now?
Right now, one of my dreams is to win the title of Miss West Virginia USA. I am so excited about this system. I'm so excited about my title, my board members, the area that I will be representing, and to represent West Virginia at the national pageant at Miss USA would be incredible. I feel like West Virginia has so much to offer, and so many different millennials in West Virginia and teenagers and even young adults. They need someone to look up to. They need a leadership position, and I feel like I can truly fulfill that, and I can fulfill the position of connecting with them one-on-one and getting to know them and getting to know what their dreams are, how we can shape West Virginia to be better for millennials and teenagers and young adults. And that'll just be an incredible experience. So I'm really looking forward to that. Another thing is graduating from WVU with my degree in broadcast journalism. I absolutely love my college. I love everything about it. All my classes are incredible. I'm so excited. And taking like different GECs and electives are really amazing too. Next semester I'm taking a sign language course, which I'm really excited about. So I think I might minor in something similar to that. Because I still haven't found my minor yet, and I should probably do that soon. Another goal of mine is to continue to get my books out there across the nation. S.C.A.R.S is a 501c3 nonprofit, and so we are constantly looking for sponsors to buy these books and to donate them to, whether it's schools, libraries, children's hospitals, cleft lip centers, burn centers, daycare centers. There's so many areas that my book is needed in, as so many children need to know that just because you're different doesn't mean that you're damaged or that you should be shamed for it. It just means that you have a story to tell about your strength and how you overcame that obstacle and how much character you have now since then, and to really just rise above any stigma that you may face later on in life. And I feel like teaching that at a young age is so critical, because that is something that they're going to hold on as they grow up. We tell children that you can be whatever you want to be when you grow up. And yet as they get older, we sort of lean them in, oh, that might be a little too hard. We don't want to do that. Or you start like crushing their dreams, and that's not possible, whether it's based on where you live or how much money you make or anything. There's so many other different obstacles that they're going to face, but you just need to relax and to really trust them and trust in their dream, and know that if it is that important to them, if it can consume their entire life in a good and positive way, and you know that it can help others in the future and around you, then you need to support them no matter what. And I'm so grateful that my parents were finally able to do that. I had to push them for a couple of weeks, and then they finally said, okay, they gave in. And this is something that I've been doing for 5 years now, and it's just been an incredible experience. I've gained so much, I've shared so much, and I cannot wait to continue to do that for the rest of my life.
Well, hey, not everybody, as parents, we don't all grow up with the manual of how to be amazing parents to inspire our children to do everything. And because sometimes, we have to learn ourselves like that's something that's possible, because maybe, growing up, they didn't necessarily get to hear that. Or at least they heard it, but they didn't believe it. It's two different things. Hearing and believing are way two different things. So absolutely love that. And I obviously I will have all the links in the show notes to at superjoepardo.com for people to connect, not just connect with you, but to go and donate and buy books to help the cause, to help inspire other children to go and do what they want to do in their lives.
Thank you so much, because it is really needed in several different communities. It's needed all around the world, and I really hope that my book will make it out there. And it is my dream, it is my goal to get my book in every Children's Miracle Network hospital in the United States. So with your help and the sponsors that are to come, you will help make that dream come true.
Definitely. Actually, what's the website that people can go to?
You can find me on Facebook at Krystian Leonard. You can talk to me on Twitter, on Instagram. One thing is my website is www.shiningscars.com. And if that doesn't work for you, then just message me on Facebook and we'll talk there. I will be able to write you a tax return sheet and everything else. So it is a full process, and every book will be signed. And if you want it personalized, that is perfectly okay. And we put our sponsors' names in a sticker and stick it inside the book too. So you also get recognition.
Love it. Love it, love it. Now, Krystian, is there any last thoughts you'd like to share before we wrap up here?
No, if you have a dream, then you better go out there and chase it, because the only person who can do that is you. And I believe in you, and I believe in no matter what your dream is, what your passion is, to just go out and do it. Even if there's 1,000 no's, you'll find that one yes, I promise.
Krystian, I'm so fortunate to have you here on the show, and I'm so honored for you to take the time out of, obviously, right now is not such a busy time, probably like right in this. I mean, we're recording on a Mother's Day. If people who don't realize this, for when this comes out into the future. So we had to find the time to make this work, and I'm so glad that we did, and I'm so appreciative of that time. So thank you.
Well, thank you for having me. It's always great to talk to you. I'm so surprised that it's been so long. I thought it was crazy, and then now that I look back, I'm like, wow, it really has been a while.
It has.
But it's always great to be on this show. I love it. I love all your different podcasts. Everyone that you interview is just incredible, and you just have this spark in this life, and you know what people to talk to. And every time that I need encouragement, I just go on your show and I just listen to different things, and then I find that.
Oh, well, thank you, Krystian. I really appreciate that, and I hope that everything. We'll definitely be following up. After September, October, depending how they wind up doing that, because I really want to cue people in on how that went. Hopefully they'll find out on their own. If you're a winner, that's the thing. But either way, I would love to. Oh, people that can't see it, she was dancing. So again, can't wait to have you again on the show, and let's not make it so long this time, this upcoming time.
Great. Well, thank you again. I loved it.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Dreamers Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Dreamers Podcast. Join us on Facebook at facebook.com/Dreamers Podcast. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest on the Dreamers Podcast, please send an email to j@jpar.co. This podcast is copyright 2014 by jpar.co.